Narcissists always wear a mask to cover their true character. They are adaptable and rarely unmasked. However, narcissistic people often have strange behaviors and traits that can reveal their true colors upon closer examination. We'll introduce you to a few of them in today's video. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Psychology in Mind, activate the bell for notifications, and get excited for new videos uploaded every day. Number 1. They interrupt the conversation whenever possible. Being the center of attention is the be-all and end-all of a narcissist. There is absolutely nothing outside of their own inner world. If a conversation doesn't revolve around them, they will try anything to take over the conversation. Narcissists thereby control the topic and try to make themselves the center of the conversation, because in every case they are firmly convinced that they have more important and exciting things to contribute to the conversation. Their lack of impulse control makes it impossible for narcissists not to interrupt a conversation. Not only do they not care what you said, they also want you to feel unimportant and insignificant. Number 2. Narcissists have exaggerated gestures and facial expressions. Depending on how pronounced the person's narcissism is, their facial features and hand movements will be larger and more pronounced when speaking. Why? Narcissists don't have the same emotional capacity as other people. They experience emotions differently, or not at all. Thus, they can only try to imitate the emotion they desire to convey. However, this rarely comes across as convincingly authentic. Number 3. Narcissists set the pace and lead the way. There may be a simple explanation for this behavior as well. You may be walking through an idea or place at your own pace, or maybe your partner is just impatient. But if you are dealing with a narcissist, this behavior also has a very specific meaning. First and foremost, a narcissist in this case actually feels impatient. After all, everything revolves around himself or herself, so nothing is noticed beyond his or her own nose. In addition, they maintain a feeling of personal grandeur and the idea that they always have to determine everything. Number 4. Sudden mood swings. Of course, this behavior pattern applies to many other mental illnesses as well, but with narcissists, rapid mood changes are also common. In flipping moods, narcissists take off their mask of sanity. So a narcissistic person may appear at one moment to be gentle and loving with people, then suddenly go off the deep end for no apparent reason. However, sudden mood swings are not the only changes that narcissists display. So friends and partners of narcissists are often confronted with sudden insults, envy, or with frustrated silence. Number 5. Narcissists often talk to themselves. Personalities operating under the influence of narcissism may develop the habit of talking to themselves over the course of their lives. This rarely involves just a few sentences. In many cases, they will be holding extended dialogues. That is, they ask themselves questions and answer them as if they were in a real conversation. This can even go so far as to have these discussions with themselves in front of a mirror. Why do narcissists tend to talk to themselves? Is talking to themselves the only situation in which narcissists can drop their masks, or do they have voices in their heads? The truth is totally different. We must never forget that narcissists are manipulative individuals. They succeed at nothing better than wrapping others around their finger. But this requires preparation. Narcissists use self-talk to master upcoming dialogues and to be prepared for all eventualities. They always want to have the right answer ready to respond to anything. Number 6. Narcissists are sore losers. Narcissistic people always have the same goal: to get to the top and leave others behind. Through skillful manipulation, they achieve their goal in most cases, suppressing their fellow human beings in some way. And it is precisely this suppression that makes them feel like winners. So it is not surprising that narcissists want to win at all costs in simple and insignificant games. If they lose, they always have an excuse ready and try to accuse the other players of cheating and deception. Number 7. Narcissists give unusual gifts. Since narcissists need to manipulate those around them on a regular basis, they take every opportunity to do so. Giving gifts to others is always something personal. The occasion, the type of gift, and the act of presenting it is of great importance to most people. This is true for both the giver and the recipient, and this is exactly why narcissistic people take advantage of such occasions. They give you a gift that is tied to certain conditions. With their self-centered streak, they can also get the idea that while they are giving you something, they could also give themselves a gift at the same time. Or they might give a useless gift, or no gift at all. In any case, the process of giving will include a negative aspect. Number 8, they shape the past as they see fit. In order to dominate the present and not lose control over other people, narcissists tend to put past events in the wrong light. In doing so, they adjust what happened to suit their convenience. While this often involves minimal distortions, narcissists not infrequently throw around large-scale lies. This is all done in order to present themselves as positively as possible and to unsettle and suppress their counterparts. This does not always have to be malicious intent. The worldview and perspective of narcissistic individuals may be so twisted that they are completely convinced that they are telling the truth regarding past events. Number 9. Sufferers have dark and morbid interests. If you get to know someone who tells you about their hobbies, activities that you would never have considered to be hobbies, your alarm bells should ring. Narcissistic people like to surround themselves with unusual things, and some have morbid hobbies. These include, for example, creepy things on the internet or historical events that are anything but admirable. Dictators and other dark leadership figures also arouse the interest of narcissists. However, in order to maintain an appearance of sanity, their hobbies are usually kept secret. Number 10. Narcissists don't blink when they look at you. Narcissistic individuals are hunters, and thus are always on the lookout for new prey. As in the animal kingdom, predators never take their eyes off their prey until the prey is caught. So if you are constantly stared at during a conversation, this is a good indication that you are dealing with a narcissistic person. Of course, it may be genuine interest, or it might be desire, but be on your guard. Narcissists don't blink and have a fixed stare while they are engrossed in a conversation with you. Today's conclusion. One or two of the characteristics we've described don't have to mean much. Unusual behavior patterns do not make a person a narcissist, and a hypothesis is no substitute for a proper diagnosis. Nevertheless, caution is advised when dealing with people or partners who simultaneously exhibit several of the mentioned behaviors. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.